Hello everyone, welcome to a quick deck tech with one of my favorite decks in the format. Typically it's called Survival Welder, but this take I'm going to name Frankenstein Welder after Frankenstein's monster, because it did so much to this deck, which used to be a red-green version a few weeks back, that yeah, it's a monster, and I'm not sure how this will work out for me. So let's take a quick look at my choices this month. First of all, I want to say I think Tsabo's Web is a very strong card. Not only that it cantrips, it's great against the various Ponza strategies, because you will just lock them out with that, and you have the ability to buy it back with Goblin Welder. So resolving one Tsabo Swap might be enough to get ahead in the game and win a game against Terraponza. And to understand my deck build here, let's talk about the decks I think we are going to face this month. I think that the Ponza variants are still pretty strong and should be one of the more famous decks, because they are yeah, just broken in some scenarios. And typically against those decks we are pretty bad positioned, even with a red splash, which allows them to just earthquake everything away, and with pyroclasm to kill our creatures. So one decision was to get rid of the Lanova elves and the Finthorn elves, but keep the birds, because we have a white splash now. And we do have some cards which are pretty cool in the white version. So most prominent is the Enlightened Tutor, which allows us to tutor for any enchantment or artifact card in our graveyard and put it into the top. So often you will find yourself just finding one Survivor of the Fittest or a Sylvan Library if you need card advantage. And in other occasions, you just go to find the Tangle Wire or a Solitary Confinement. Nice thing with the Enlightened Tutor is that every silver bullet artifact or enchantment from your sideboard is basically a 5-off, because you can find them with the 4 Enlightening Tutor. Enlightening Tutor is typically a bad card in value-based matchups like the Rock, but I think due to the current meta, we can really make some great plays with it. The second deck I'm anticipating this month is Stasis, because as you see, I piloted Stasis last month, the answer for the various Ponza decks, and I was yeah, it was pretty amazing. I got 5-1 with it, 6-1 with another test game, and I'm now in the playoffs because I made place 10 with it. And Stasis is just broken against the Ponza strategies. So as a natural answer for that, I think we need to face Stasis. And the Quirion Ranger shines in both matchups, because against Stasis it allows you to chip some damage in, because you can untap your creatures. You can generate mana, because you can untap them, replay the forest, so you have a game going while the Stasis opponent needs to try to control you out. And the Quirion Ranger is fine against Ponza strategies, because you can just bounce a forest and he won't be able to destroy it. So next choice, which is not obvious in the deck, is the Wall of Roots. These used to be some number of Wall of Blossoms, but I guess having the 1 to 2 mana each turn cycle is more important than having an additional card. And it's nice that this will stay around after most earthquakes and pyroclasms. So another very interesting find, sadly from the wrong set here, is the Intrepid Hero. I found it again in my Urza Saga collection, my favorite set of all time. And it's like you can tap it and you can destroy a creature with power 4 or greater. I play this in the slot of a, what's his name? It's called Goblin Sharpshooter right now. Because I want to kill all these exalted angels, these Terravores. And in my first match, I used to shoot away a Phyrexian Dreadnought. Because I got it into play hasty. So I think it's a pretty strong and underplayed card. I hope to see it more in strategies like blue-white Flippy, blue-white Weenie, or maybe mono-white. And yeah, I think it's so strong and so cool that I have a second copy in the sideboard. Another interesting choice, which is not typically in this deck, is the Helm of Possession. Another card I found while digging very deep in the Premodern card pool. And this card gives you the ability to sacrifice any creature. And while doing that, you gain the control of target creature for as long as the Helm stays into play and stays tapped. So I really hope to exchange some Birds of Paradise against Exalted Angel or Terravore, something. Pretty hyped to see this card in play. Alright, what's more? You see that this version does not run any amount of Gear's Cradle. Typically the 3-color version with White Splash played 1 Cradle, and the red-green version played 2 Cradle. But due my cut of some weak creatures, which should just provide mana, I exchanged the Gear's Cradle against the beautiful Urza Saga Forest, because I do not want to extend myself too much against Pyroclasm and Earthquake. So another deck we are going to face probably is the black-white control deck, which is an answer to the current meta game with Ponza. So I think the 3 most prominent decks this time will be still Ponza, the Stasis deck, and the black-white control deck. Not really sure about the black-white control matchup. I think a card which could give us a headache is the Phyrexian Furnace, and for that we have a Null Rod in our sideboard. And besides that, let's take a quick look at the rest of our sideboards cards. So we got one Absolute Law, which grants protection from red for all creatures. I want to play this against Sly strategies and against decks with Burn to protect our creatures. So we are not losing too much ground against cards like Pyroclasm or Fire and Ice. Besides that, we got one Ray of Revelation, mostly to get rid of Oath of Druids. As I mentioned before, the second Intrepid Hero, which is a very cool card from Urza Saga. Then a very nice and cool find, the Dwarven Blastminer. I hope to get that into play and really wreck the mana base of the Ponza decks, and to destroy some forbidden cities against Stasis. We got one Ensnaring Bridge, and this should give us a great angle against the Ponza decks, because we can hide a bit behind this, and if we are ready with our game, we can just exchange it against some artifact like Tsabo's Web and attack with our creatures. Besides that, you can see one Tormod's Crypt. I'm not typically a fan of random one-off graveyard hate, but due to the fact that we run 4 Enlightened Tutor, we have the ability to find it against combo decks, and we have the ability to reuse it with Goblin Welder to keep opposing Terravores small. We got one Winter Orb in the sideboard, not in the main deck, because I think the second Tsabo's Web is better. And due to the fact that we can find them with the Enlightening Tutor, I think it's a pretty strong card against control strategies. And it's very strong. And To naturalize, to be more flexible against strategies like Stasis and Phyrexian Dreadnought. 1 Uktabi Orangutan, I really like that card, and you have the ability to rebuy it with a Genesis in your main deck. And here are the bad boys I've hidden 4 Terravores in the sideboard. That's not a meme, because one thing which is bad about the version with the white splash nowadays is that you are going to run 8 fetchlands. That meaning that you are helping to grow opposing Terravores, and sometimes the Survival Welder deck just falls apart because of the small creatures. And I just want to have some Terravores around. I want to bring them in against the Ponza decks and against decks which have a lot of burn, to just bring it down as a 4/4, maybe 5/5, to apply some pressure. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video and the matches you are going to see. Please leave some feedback, what you say about this Frankenstein's Welder. Have fun!